This is an Evergreen Media Network studio production.
From Studio A in sunny Florida, welcome to Beauty and the Beach Radio, where it's all about who's beautifying Vero Beach. Today's show is brought to you by Dale Sorensen Real Estate. And here's your host and glamour girl, makeup artist, Cindy Getz.
Hey guys, welcome to sunny Florida. Welcome to Beauty and the Beach Studio. I've got a turtleneck on because it's cold outside. And if you don't live in Florida and you're somewhere really cold right now, you're probably laughing at us because it's below 70 and we're all wearing our jackets and flannels. It's kind of funny, but we're cold. We're cold. But anyway, listen, I am so excited, you guys. We have a guest on the show today. This will be his second appearance on Beauty and the Beach. And I want to get right to it because the last time he was here, I introduced a brand new book that he had just written. And I just finished it, you guys, and I'm in love with it. I'm in love with it so much that I didn't want it to end. You know how you read those books and you're just like, oh God, I have like one more chapter. I don't want it to be over. Well, that's kind of how I felt. I really fell in love with the main character, Ethan. And, I think there's a little bit of that main character in all of us. And so we're going to dive in because the author has now come out with a kind of a part 2 to it. So stay tuned. We'll tell you what that's all about. But we have back on the show, he is a husband, father, pastor, and his new title is author. He is passionate about life. He believes that true fulfillment comes from living with purpose. That is your keyword, guys. He has a Master of Divinity degree and acquiring, a Master of Social Work degree. He's a smarty pants, guys. He's just revealed his brand new book, which I just finished, and it is called A Story on Purpose. And I think Cindy's actually got a picture of it somewhere, but here it is, A Story on Purpose. You guys, you can get it on Amazon. You can even reach out on social media later and we can, get one to you. But it's definitely worth getting. This is a relatable story that follows the journey of my new favorite friend, Ethan, a young guy who embarks on a transformative quest guided by 5 life-changing principles. Now, I was telling my guest before we went on air that I'm kind of a self-help guru, and this book had like every nugget that I have learned all chucked into it in a story. It's so amazing. So please welcome back to Beauty and the Beach Radio, Peyton Minzenmeyer.
Thank you, Cindy. So good to be back. I love your energy.
I miss Ethan.
I know. I'll tell you what.
So I finished the book and I said, is this Peyton?
That's what everybody says. Everybody. It's like, how much of this is self-autobiographical, is coming out?
Yes.
And I kind of leave that up for mystery.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like a little bit, but I won't tell you which parts and how much.
I love it. True author there. So listen, we're talking about, the last time you were here, we debuted your new book, which is fantastic. I recommend it for anybody. Story on Purpose, and very informative, but also very engaging, entertaining. I love that you put these nuggets of truth and passion of life into a story.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. And isn't that what Jesus did?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
He taught through parables.
Operated through story.
Yes.
And really all of us operate through story. We're all the hero in our own hero's journey, you know? And so it's just part of the human nature to be story driven. And so it's just tapping into that.
Yeah. So, gosh, there's just so much. I don't even know. I'm going to try to really just narrow it down here. So when I finished the book, I was like, whoa, okay. So it really made you think about, life and direction. And I kind of was like, well, Cindy, you should start writing some of these things down, maybe come up with a map, a plan. And guess what?
Yeah, we released a workbook to mention that, and comes up to me, and this is at church. She says, I woke up this morning and I reread your book. She woke up at 5 a.m., reread it because it's a fairly easy read
Yes.
if you really, dial into it. And she showed me her book, and it was filled in the margins with like things underlined, summaries, everything. And it just sparked this idea that, I am creating content that is about self-introspection, about creating the life that you want, that you were designed to live. Why not create a space that people can actually work through it? And so we developed a workbook on purpose, a companion to the best-selling book, A Story on Purpose. You see 2 names on there. I actually hired my buddy Brady, who's a life coach, as a professional. And so he helped me take all of this content of the book and to make it very reflective of like asking good questions that help generate, the kind of reflective process that you want.
Right. Oh my gosh. I can't wait.
Yeah, it is a gem. I am more excited, I think, about the workbook. I mean, obviously, Ethan and his story are so dear to my heart, but the workbook is about you. I mean, you are now the center of the story and you get to flesh it out.
Well, I like that you're making it very practical now. Okay, so we read the book, but let's get, the rubber to the road.
Exactly.
So, okay, so 2 factors drive our avoidance of a challenge. What are they?
Yeah, so you have instant gratification, which
is our society now. Social media, like 2 seconds and we're gone on to something else.
Yeah, and then the second, what is the second on there?
So you have the instant relief and the absence of gratification.
Yep. So that's the big tension is instant relief tells us that what we said, social media feeds it into us. Long-term lasting gratification is what we actually want. And so we will often compromise what it will take to get long-term gratification and replace it with instant satisfaction.
But it's just not a long haul.
It's not. And so this really goes to the core of every problem that we could have, that if we are willing to sacrifice what's comfortable to us in the short term, then we will actually see long-term benefits. And the most easy way to think about it is think about exercising.
Right.
It does not feel good for a 5 a.m. alarm to go off.
Right.
It does not feel good to go out into the blistering cold. It does not feel good to be a mile into the run knowing you have 2 more. But you do it, you sacrifice in the short term because there's a long-term that you're paying off. But our society, like you mentioned, does not fit into that mold.
And I love how you weave that into the book. The Story on Purpose. Ethan, he is all of us where the alarm goes off at 5 and he's like, hit the snooze, hit the snooze, hit the snooze. And then of course he comes around. Don't want to give everything away, but he comes around. But you're right. Like long-term wise though, the discipline pays off.
It always pays off. If you will do the things, and we were just talking about this before we went on air, that the moment that things get hard, that should actually be a great moment for you. And I'll tell you why. Well, here's why you actually want hardship. Because it's right there, right when things get hard, that's when the majority of people quit.
So true.
Right there.
Yes.
And so you get a choice. Do you want to be like everybody else and quit this thing, or do you want to be unlike everybody else and push through it?
Yep.
So it's actually good. You actually want those hard moments. You actually want that. You actually want that instant gratification to be put to the side to get what you ultimately want.
Even in the story, Ethan, the day that he did get up, he was a little bit late, but it was like 5:10. And he's what people need to understand, you may not feel it yet. Like he was still groggy. He was still tired. He was still out of sorts, but he did it. And afterwards,
then that's whenever you begin to benefit.
Great. Yes.
Exactly.
So he still didn't feel it.
Yeah. And it's not a perfect system. Like we think of the Rocky clip when he's running, but the problem with the Rocky clip is that is a 2-minute clip.
Yes.
Our Rocky clip is a 5 to 10 year journey, maybe, or 6 months, right? And so it's a reminder that you can have the Rocky clip. It's just not going to be 2 minutes for you.
Yeah. It's not going to be the TikTok version.
Exactly.
Right?
But that is what the society is feeding us. And so the workbook is a way of like slowly working through it.
Pulling
it's like,
all that out.
Exactly. Pull on every thread and really dig into the pain of it.
So talk to us about the target of life.
Yes.
Talk to us about that.
So this is one of my favorite exercises. So this workbook is jam-packed with exercises, from charts to like physical, like literal exercises you go through to just questions. One of the very first ones you'll interact with is called the target of life. And it's literally, think of like a bullseye target. Yep. And it's broken into quadrants. So like a pie. Okay. And that pie is making up what I tried to do a good job of just breaking up life into categories. Okay. From like family or relationships to meaning and purpose to physical health or mental health. Like there's all of these aspects, career, entertainment, or like, just enjoyment. So your life can be broken up into all of these various categories. And what we do in the workbook is then, now let's break down each of those categories. If you were to just throw a dart about where you are, center of the target in this category or far off in this category, where would you place yourself? So with your fulfillment and joy and fun, you may be like right on target. You're towards the center. But in your relationships, you may be further out. And what this exercise does is it allows you to see your life in all of its categories, and then it allows you to kind of rate yourself, because knowledge is the first step to change and growth and transformation. You have to know where you are to know where you want to go and how to get there. And so it's one example of how we can look at our life like a target, to place ourselves on it, and then to pull ourselves out of that through reflective processes in each section.
Love that. I love that. I love the whole pie chart. The next thing, recipe for mental strength. I think, we all start out the new year wanting to be healthier mentally, physically. What's your recipe for mental strength?
Yeah. So mental strength, I believe there are 10 of them. The recipe for mental strength, I laid out 10 in the book, in the workbook. It's like, here's these little nuggets. So I think for our discussion, I just pulled out 5. So I know one of them, for example, is create goals that you can crush. So like that is a mental exercise that you can go through.
We need a win.
We need a win.
For momentum.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the exact word you want to use. So you want to generate goals in your life. And this is part of the exercise. Write it down. Yeah. Measure something that you can absolutely demolish. Because here's what happens. If your goal is to do 1 push-up a day, that's it. 1 push-up a day. You'll get down there, like, oh, I can do that. I'll do 1 push-up. Yeah. What will likely happen is you're already down there. Yeah, you're already thinking about it. You're like, you know what? I'm feeling all right. I'll get in like 3 or 4 or 5, and before you know it, you've already started to build in this rhythm in your life of exercise, right? Give me what's another favorite one on there that you really like? Yeah, there's a couple of really good ones in there. I know another one is but you actually knowing what your purpose is. Obviously, the direction you want to go, so you know the path you need to take to get to it.
And I don't know, because I told you I'm a self-help guru. Like, I've heard it be related, and I don't know if you and I have had this conversation or if it was in your book, but it's like a GPS. Like, you can't just say, I want to go north. The GPS is like, I don't know what to do with that. Like, but you go, okay, I want to go to Wabasso, at 473, blah, blah, blah. Then it knows exactly how to get you from point A to point B. Yeah. And so that's the same idea, right? Yep. By writing down specifically your purpose or what you want. Is that true? That's
exactly right. Is that whenever you know your destination, you know the path you need to take to get there, right? And then the disciplines you need, and really what you want is the journey it takes you to get there. Sure. So I love to say, so we'll just take authors. Most authors want to be a New York Times bestseller. Sure. And what I tell them, you don't actually want that. That is the outcome of what you want. Or what you should want. What you actually want is to be a good writer. Of course. You want to be you want to be an author, and that you actually have control of. Yeah. You don't have control of being on the New York Times bestseller. The opinions of everybody else. Exactly. You don't have control of that. Yeah. You do have control of how much time and effort you're going to put into writing and developing this skill. So control what you can control and let go of the rest.
Love that. Love that. The secret formula for holding on to good thoughts and reframing bad ones, Peyton.
This is my favorite exercise that I have in the entire workbook, in my book, and it's 3 questions that you can ask.
Okay.
Any thought that comes into your mind, there's 3 questions you need to ask it.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah, go.
Is it helpful?
Mm-hmm.
Is it kind? Is it true? And here's the thing. If any thought does not qualify for one of those questions, is it helpful? Is it kind? Is it true? That thought is not working for you. You can get rid of it. You can recycle it. You can reframe it. And that's what I teach people in this book is there's actually an exercise where you take a thought and then you have a box next to it and it's like, okay, is it helpful, kind, true? No? Okay, then let's reshape it to a thought that is
Give us an
those
example.
things. So a good example would be, so I'm a Christian, so we'll just pull off from my nugget. So let's say somebody has a thought that says, I don't do anything successful. I don't really know what I want with my life. You know, I'm just a failure. You know, I'm a failure. Maybe it's in your career. Maybe it's in your marriage. Maybe it's in whatever. Okay. So is that thought true? It could be true. Maybe in some categories it is true. Maybe you have failed in some ways. Is it kind? No, not very kind. Is it helpful? Is that helping you? Maybe it will kind of give you some motivation, but really it's not helping you either. But if anything, we know it's not kind.
Right.
We know it's not being kind to yourself.
Yeah.
So let's reshape it. What reshaping it might look like is, well, one, I'm as good as I need to be right now. You know, in the eyes of God, like I am who I am, and this is who I am. This is how God made me. And so what it might be is it might transform from I am a failure to I am a work in progress. I'm on a journey. Yeah. Right. And so all of a sudden I'm a work in progress. Is that helpful? Yeah, that's helping me a lot. Is it kind? Yeah. I mean, kindness is not always like happy and butterflies. It's saying, I have work to do, but I'm in progress. I'm in motion. And is it true? Yes, it's absolutely true. I'm a failure. I'm a work in progress. You shape it.
I love that. Reframing. I absolutely love that. So, you know, speaking of dirty words, the key distinction between guilt and shame, those are, to me, dirty words.
Yeah, very dirty words. But here's the thing. They are different words. And I like to make a distinction between them because one is not bad, one is very bad. Okay, so we'll start with the very bad one, shame. So shame is like, have you ever worked out and you have like this nasty, sweaty shirt? Maybe you like took it off because you're at the beach and then you have to like go in public and you have to like put it back on and it's like wet and soggy and it sticks to you. That's what shame's like. Shame is often attached to trauma or failures, or a lot of times things are even outside of our control.
Sure.
Shame is an identity problem. Action based. It is things that are shapeable. Bad.
Okay.
Guilt can actually has nothing to do with who I am by my nature, by my identity, which is shame. It has everything to do with what I'm doing and what I'm producing.
It's action.
It's action based,
word.
and it can be shaped. It can be changed to work for you.
Love
right?
that.
So if I feel guilty that I yelled at my kids because, you know, I have 2 toddlers that run around. I have a really bad temper sometimes. I have to really put myself in check. I yell at them. I snap at them. That guilt is healthy because it is shaping me. I can change it. Yeah. But if I identify myself with shame, what is that doing? Yeah. I mean,
it's not helpful, kind.
It's not helpful, kind, or true. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And it is a moment that happened. It does not have to be attached to my identity. I can do something else.
I love that. So guilt is actually reframing.
Exactly.
Us.
It's all about reframing. Then that's really what the workbook is about. It's about taking our life now, taking the life that we want, and then reframing ourselves and our circumstances so that we get the results that we actually care about.
Love it. Peyton, we have to go to a station break. If they want to start with your book, or if they've had the book and they want to get your workbook, where can they find you?
So you can find everything at astorionpurpose.com or just my website, which is PeytonMinz.com. You can also find both of them on Amazon, and then A Story on Purpose everywhere books are sold. Barnes & Noble, everywhere that books are sold, you can find A Story on Purpose.
All right, guys, go get your Story on Purpose. If you've already gotten past that, get your workbook. It's a workbook on purpose. You guys stay with us. We'll be right back.
Kinky Boots is coming to Riverside, a dazzling extravaganza with music and lyrics by Cyndi Lauper. It's the story of a failing shoe factory. When the owner meets up with a fabulous drag queen, she helps him save the business. Winner of the Tony for Best Musical, Kinky Boots, opens February 20th at the beautiful Riverside Theater in Vero Beach. But you don't have to wait to get your best tickets now at the box office or online at riversidetheater.com.
At Sunshine Furniture, our 35,000 square foot showroom is filled with the largest selection of in-stock coastal furniture on the Treasure Coast. Dining and bedroom sets, occasional tables, sofas, sleeper sofas, love seats and chairs, and all the latest styles and colors from Tommy Bahama, Lexington, Hooker, Riverside, Universal, Four Seasons, Braxton Color, and Capri. We're the outdoor furniture experts and have hundreds of styles of any patio furniture you need, including a gallery of Berlin Gardens and Pollywood. We're having a big February clearance sale, which includes all Tommy Bahama and Lexington in stock or special order, 50% off. Sunshine Furniture, 1295 US 1 in Vero Beach, next to Planet Fitness. Family owned and operated since 1991. Visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com and don't forget to visit our outlet and sales store directly across the street.
Sunshine Furniture, the best in every way. Have a sunshine day. Sunshine.
It's time to call Easy Brew Coffee and Bottled Water Service and learn just how much you can save and how convenient it is to have your coffee and bottled water delivered right to your home or office. In addition to water coolers, Easy Brew offers individual bottles of water in 8 or 16-ounce bottles. No more lugging it home or dragging it into the office. Serving the Treasure Coast for over 2 decades, 2 letters, 1 simple name. Easy for Easy Brew. Visit e-zbrew.com or call 800-792-3285. Easy Brew.
Hey guys, welcome back to Beauty and the Beach Radio. We're here with Peyton Minzenmeyer, who has just finished a second book. But before we wrap it up with Peyton, you guys, I'm going to thank Dale Sorensen Real Estate. They always make sure that we're on air and we're able to promote people like Peyton. So thank you, Dale Sorensen Real Estate. If you're buying or selling, you can find them at 772-231-4712. And we also want to thank Varietals and More for making sure that our guests always have a lovely beverage. Varietals and More, Rob and Michelle over on Royal Palm Point. They are amazing. They have just a ton of wines and spirits and meats and cheeses. It's just a lovely shop. So be sure to go see them. We are wrapping it up with Peyton Minzenmeyer, and he wrote a book called A Story on Purpose, my new favorite. And he's also followed it up with a workbook. It's called A Workbook on Purpose to kind of help you kind of navigate your own story, if you will, through this workbook. Peyton, to wrap this up, poor Ethan, and he was a lost soul. And there's a lot of lost people out there in life. What do you say?
Yeah. So, this is, as a pastor, as a counselor, as somebody who just works with young people all the time, what I often hear is I feel stuck. I feel paralyzed. I feel like my life is not adding up to anything. And they'll usually go through a list of all the things they've tried. And I like to say, you've gone through and you flipped over these stones. You just, you're searching, you're looking, you're trying to find your meaning in it all. And what I like to tell them in that moment is your purpose, the meaning of your life, is not waiting to be found. It's not hiding under a rock somewhere, waiting for you to stumble upon it. Your meaning, your purpose is cultivated. It's created day at a time. It's a choice at a time. And so learn to just sit in where you are. This is who you are right now. And the best thing about right now is you get a choice of what you do next. Maybe this workbook will help you. Maybe it's something else out there, but you have a choice to choose something else today.
I love it. If they want to try out your book or the workbook, where can they find it again? Yeah, so A Story on Purpose, the book, you can find it at storyonpurpose.com, Amazon, anywhere books are sold. A Workbook on Purpose, since we just released it, I would just go to my website, peyton.mins, peytonmins.com.
or you can find it on Amazon. Best place to find it.
All right, you guys, I hope you'll get it. Both of them. Find your purpose, find your passion, and live life to the fullest, you guys. We love you. Have a great day. Thanks, Peyton.